going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that ring.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, you know, you've got 4 NBA teams still fighting to make the finals and win that coveted NBA championship, Mojo. But we're going to talk about next season and how the NBA could look very different because it's possible that one of the real premier players, that man right there, the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, could be on a different team, Mojo, be with a different organization. Obviously, the Bucks drafted Giannis with the 15th overall pick in 2013. In hindsight, he would go 15 picks earlier, Mojo. He is that good. He is that kind of player. But there are rumors that after a disappointing season, once again in Milwaukee, that Giannis is for the first time open to possibly going somewhere else. Adding to that, Mojo, Giannis, if you follow him on social media, if you follow him on X, you have seen he has seemingly put out some overtures over the last couple of weeks indicating that he might again be open to playing elsewhere. He has talked about how much he likes Steph Curry. He's talked about how much he likes traveling to New York. So, with all of that going on in the background, Mojo, what is going on, you know, from the coach's side, from the organization side of things? Well, we ran into a guy who may know a thing or two about the Bucks, Doc Rivers, their head coach, Mojo. Yesterday, Doc Rivers was out in Beverly Hills at Avra, a very fancy restaurant in the city. As he was leaving, we talked to Doc, Mojo, and we asked him, what's going on with Giannis? Is there any drama? Is there trouble between you two? Here's Doc Rivers.
Have you talked to Giannis lately? I know there's rumors that he might get,
Guys, I'm
traded.
not doing all that. I talk to him all the time. You can move on now. Thank you.
Of course. All right, well, thank you so much.
Do you think Cooper Flag deserves to be a #1 draft pick? What do you think of him as a player?
I love him as a player.
So there it was, Mojo. He says, we talk all the time. I don't know that necessarily means that Giannis is not going to ask for a trade, but perhaps there is not a fracture in the relationship between Giannis and Doc Rivers, and that's got to count for something.
Doc said, dude, don't even mention this. I don't want to hear anybody talking about this. You take the Greek freak from me. I'm in a world of hurt. So I refuse to acknowledge this question whatsoever. Things are great. He's happy as hell. He's not going anywhere. Of course, that's what Doc Rivers said. What does the Greek freak have to say? Potentially, that could mean something else. Guy that was a first-round pick in 2013, been there a very long time. 13 seasons at this point, Babcock, and he's won 1 championship. For some, that's great. You get 1 ring, that's enough. You just needed 1 at some point during your career. But this is one of the greatest players of all time. This is a guy that wants to, maybe not necessarily be in the GOAT conversation, but he wants to be in that Mount Rushmore conversation for sure. So winning 1 championship in your career, that's certainly not going to be enough to elevate you to a conversation like that. So, hey, maybe this is something that's really bothering him. It's not like he hasn't done his part on the court. The dude's an all-star in almost every single season he's ever played. One of the greatest players, both offensively and defensively. He's got it all. So, man, if he's upset that there was an early exit, these things really hit hardest in the playoffs, when everything's still fresh. The wound is still very open. You're very frustrated. Maybe you think you did everything you could, but maybe your team, maybe your coach, the ownership, everyone else in the organization maybe didn't pull their weight to the level that you have, and you start to look elsewhere. So, I don't know. We'll see. The bottom line is he's still got time on his contract, so even if he did want out, he'd want to have out so badly and take such a hard stance on this that they had to get rid of him. Is the Greek freak the kind of guy that goes that route? I'm not sure about that, Babcock.
Yeah, right. If he was a free agent, he obviously would be open to sign wherever he wants to. But this is going to take some cooperation from his organization. If he does want to go somewhere else, will the Bucks be open to trading Giannis if he demands it? That remains to be seen. I will say this. It's hard when you've got a player as good as Giannis. It's hard to get equal value back because it just really doesn't exist in many places. So what can they do? What could the Bucks possibly get back? I think for their, from their perspective, they've tried to bring in other players to be the Batman, or be the Robin to his Batman. You see Damian Lillard there. Dame has dealt with some injuries. It has not worked out the way they've hoped it would work out. We'll see if he will be willing to run it back once more, or if he has had enough in Milwaukee. All right, Mojo, we will ultimately see, obviously, what happens this offseason with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I do want to show, though, before we move on, one of my real favorite clips starring Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is a guy he coached the Clippers. He has lived out here in L.A., even when he wasn't coaching an L.A. team. It reminded me, seeing him yesterday leaving Avra, of a clip that we shot way back in 2017, Mojo, 8 years ago, that it could be confused for a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. Watch this as Doc Rivers was having dinner and is walking out of Craig's, which is one of the most, hot spot, A-list restaurants in the entire city. Watch him leaving, and he's talking near the valet stand with Larry David and Howie Mandel. Watch the hilarity that ensues.
I would shake your hand. You won't shake mine.
I won't shake. I won't shake.
Yeah, I would shake yours.
You really would?
Yeah. What?
Even though my...
God, put it there. I love the psychosis. It's a beautiful thing.
I am so heavily medicated. You have no idea.
Oh, my God. How do you handle, what about money? How do you even handle money?
I don't have any money. I have her.
Oh, you have the money?
And I make her wash money. I wash the money and I put clean money. She gives me like $10
Oh, my
a day.
God, you're insane!
What's the conversation like with those two guys at the table?
They're giving me place.
No way.
No.
What was the meeting all about, though?
Oh, it's good. We're just friends.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was the conversation like?
We were talking, I'm not allowed to... Lakers.
Lakers? Oh, that's hard.
So Howie Mandel, who famously is the biggest germaphobe out there, his wife washes the money for him, Mojo.
Were the cameras rolling, Babcock? Because that full-on felt like an actual scene from an actual episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Bottom line is that these two guys are drawing up plays. I want to hear what that looks like, see what that looks like, because it was probably absolutely ridiculous.
Coming up, fresh off her big screen debut, Michelle Waterson is with us. What's next after her thrilling performance alongside Tom Hardy in Netflix's Havoc? We'll ask the former UFC star when she joins us next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike Babcock here. I'm really excited about this because Havoc is one of the biggest movies out there right now. If you've turned on Netflix, if you've opened the app sometime over the last couple of weeks, you have seen this movie right there, top of the charts. And we are so fortunate to have one of our old buddies here at TMZ Sports who UFC fans will obviously know, Michelle Waterson, the Karate Hottie, as an MMA star who is now seemingly transitioning into entertainment, and she is doing a kick-ass job, pun intended. Michelle, how are you?
Oh, I'm riding the wave, loving life. It's been amazing, really.
That's so cool. So talk to us about Havoc. Havoc, obviously starring Tom Hardy, it's a big movie star. It's such a fun watch. It's doing great. The fans really like it. How did this all even happen, Michelle? How'd you find yourself in this movie opposite this big star in this this awesome fight scene?
I mean, if you like watching action movies, this movie is just such a treat. It's kind of an homage to like the 80s, 90s, like super bloody Rambo slash Die Hard, like anything and everything goes. Tom Hardy, obviously, he's such an amazing actor, and it was such a blessing really to work alongside him because he kind of just, he pulls you into your world. And a funny story is like my very first shot, he could see I was nervous and I'm kind of like fumbling with my fingers.
Yeah.
And like, are you nervous? He could tell I was, and I was like, yes. And he was like, well, you should be, because everybody's judging you.
That must have made you.
It made me laugh. And then I was just like, and he kind of just started talking to me, and he's like, you literally, fight for real in front of millions of people. This is just pretend. And he kind of like brought it down, brought the whole situation down a level and kind of, put everything into perspective. And he's just like really like made me feel comfortable on set. And Tom's a huge jiu-jitsu practitioner. So we had a lot of time to train, roll, and kind of get to know one another as far as like body types, physicality, like styles in fighting. And so I think that kind of like lended itself into the fight scene for sure.
Tom, he's obviously, been in a bunch of huge movies, and we've seen him do really athletic stuff on screen. He looked great, and I understand he obviously has a double. How was Tom as the fighter? Well, does he actually have some ability there?
Oh yeah, 100%. Tom's a martial artist, and I think that's why the MMA movie that he did is like, when it comes to MMA movies, it's hard. It's hard to kind of anchor that down and portray what it is to be an MMA fighter. But Tom did such an amazing job because he lives the life of a martial artist. He's like 100% dedicated, and like I said, his style is more. He is kind of like if I were to like analyze him as an MMA fighter, I would say he's more of kind of like a bite down on your mouthpiece and grind it out type fighter. He kind of likes to do like the dirty grappling moves where he's like digging his knuckles in, smothering you, smash, smash. That's his like that's his grappling style. Wow. And so it was lots of fun to get to know him as a martial artist.
Wow. It sounds like he could have been an MMA fighter if he had chosen to go in that direction. Obviously does it sort of recreationally.
Yeah. No, I think what the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu is it's a martial art that you can do in any chapter of your life. And depending on how you want to take it, you can ramp it up and ramp it down, and it's still something that adds value to your health and to your mental stability.
Absolutely. Okay, now that we've seen you in Havoc, do we see you in other projects? Is this something that you would like to continue doing, Michelle?
Oh my gosh, it's a dream come true, honestly. Before I started fighting, I grew up watching Mortal Kombat and playing Street Fighter and Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, like you name it, that's what we did. We grew up in the era of Jean-Claude Van Damme and Terminator and all of those movies, best of the best. So it really is a dream come true. I've had the opportunity to be on Cleaning Lady. Keith Jardine is getting into directing, and so he pulled me into act in one of his movies. Donald Cerrone's getting into acting, and he's putting together some mini series of his own, of a really cool Western story that he pulled me in for.
Nice.
So I'm doing that, going on auditions. I hear that they're putting together a cast for Street Fighter, so you gotta put me up in there, put me up in the mix for that. I'll fight for the role.
Who would be better for Street Fighter than you? That is so awesome. Congratulations, Michelle. Again, if you haven't seen it already, I think a lot of people have, but if you haven't seen it, it's Havoc. Absolutely incredible. It was great to catch up again, Michelle. Congratulations on the success, and cannot wait to see these other projects that you've got in the works.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys are always being in my corner. You guys are so great. And like I said, we're right in the wave. It's really exciting.
Earlier in the week, it was an NHL ref bloody during a playoff game. Now, an NBA official takes a hit during the Western Conference Finals. Highlights from a scary scene in OKC when TMZ Sports returns right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, the only person that got beat up worse last night than the Minnesota Timberwolves was the referee who is officiating the game. Scott Foster is, there he is. He is one of the most, I think, prominent NBA referees. Mojo, some people love him, some people not so much. Well, last night, he is calling Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. It was only a couple minutes into the game, Mojo. Watch what happens here as OKC Thunder player Lou Dort accidentally, inadvertently, hits Scott Foster in the face. Blood everywhere.
Randall and Dort. Dort getting the high on her. Something he's craved as the ball goes out of bounds. Officials have not made a signal yet. Scott Foster comes up wincing. The crew chief, he's hurting right now. And he's going to go over to the scores table. There's some blood, as you see. Quickly they look to attend him. And this, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often. He gets whacked in the face inadvertently. It's actually a really good toss. How many times you see players steal the tip over and over again?
Cut me, Mick.
Totally accidental, Mojo. Just a freak accident. And you're right. You heard them on the broadcast say, surprised this doesn't happen more. I've never seen it before. Last night, unfortunately, for Scott Foster.
Babcock, is this like a dream come true for certain players to blast a referee that you don't like in the face so hard that you draw blood and you get away with it? I'm sure there's a lot of players that would spend a lot of money to take out certain referees. I'm not saying that's what happened here, Babcock, and I got to put over old Scotty boy here because he took this like an absolute G. He just walked it off. He was going to go right back to doing his job, not miss a second. Only came off the court because blood was drawn, and that is a health issue. So you got to clean up the blood. Can't be leaking around, open faucet on the court. Somebody could slip on it too and take themselves out that way. So a lot of issues, a lot of health issues with that one. But yeah, dude, beast mode for taking a shot like that from a massive human being and being totally good with it. Just, throw the little plug up there and go about your business.
Mojo, those shots to the nose, your eyes get all watery. That's not a good feeling. I don't know. They're always having the debate, which athletes are the toughest. Obviously, a lot of times people say either football players or hockey players. We had the hockey official a few weeks ago. He got blasted in the face. He had to leave the game. Scotty Foster, I don't know, saying maybe it's the NBA referees actually the toughest.
Hey, they say playoff time, you turn up the intensity. I guess that goes for the referees as well.
After their December confrontation at a party, a boxing promotion wants Jordon HUDSON and Linda Holliday to settle their beef inside the boxing ring. It's the celebrity boxing offer you won't want to miss when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, Jordon HUDSON, Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, has got some serious beef with Bill's former girlfriend of like 15 years, Linda Holliday, Mojo. Remember, we broke the story a couple of days ago that the women came face-to-face at a party in December, a fancy party in Nantucket, and things got really intense. It didn't turn physical, but this was a very heated argument, and we know that much for a fact. Well, Mojo, there is somebody who is stepping up and is saying, hey, if y'all want to settle your beef, I've got a place where you can do it. That is inside the squared circle. Mojo, we spoke with our friend, my buddy, Damon Feldman. He is the founder and CEO of Celebrity Boxing. He is one of the original guys to put on these celebrity fights. And, well, Damon, he's got a message for Jordon and Linda.
What's up, guys? It's Damon Feldman here with Celebrity Boxing. And I heard about the situation with Bill Belichick's ex, Linda Holliday, as she ran into his current girlfriend, Jordon HUDSON, and they got into it at a party a couple months back. So I wanted to reach out, and I want to give them the opportunity and the platform here at Celebrity Boxing to settle that beef in the ring. Let's get it, girls.
I'll watch, Mojo.
Well, Babcock, I think we need to take this one to the tail of the tape and make our fight picks as to how we think this one's going to go. Let's go ahead and start with Jordon HUDSON because everybody's talking about her at all times. I mean, she's younger. She's smaller. Maybe she's got stamina on her side, but she's a pageant girl, Babcock. I mean, she's going out for pageants. She's not training hard. She's not the scrappiest person. Now, we've seen her be, I don't want to use the word snooty, but pretty aggressive in some of these interview and commercial settings. So I'm sure she's got a little bit of fight to her, but she's got youth on her side. Then we got to take it over to Linda. She's older. She's wiser. I think she's going to be a lot stronger. She's also likely to be more upset in this situation.
I think that's a fact.
Honestly, for me, if I'm making my picks, I got Linda just absolutely mollywopping Jordon, just mopping the floor with her. I don't even know if this thing gets outside of round one, Babcock. I think that's going to be my pick.
Wow, Mojo, I don't disagree with a lot of the things you said there. I think, and I won't give exactly away here, but I think there's a reason we don't see any boxing champions in their 60s, Mojo. So for that reason, I'm going Jordon HUDSON. Jordon HUDSON.
So you think this is going to be a Mike Tyson, Jake Paul situation is what you're saying?
Yes. The only difference being Jordan is younger than Jake and Linda is older than Mike. So we'll see what happens. Hey, David, make this fight, brother. Please make this fight. All right, Mojo, we are just about out of time. But before we go, we want to send a congratulations to Bryce James, LeBron James' youngest son, 17 years old, graduated from high school, Mojo. Sierra Canyon, just like his big brother Bronny did a couple of years ago. Now Bryce, also a really good basketball player, no shock there, is on his way to hoop at Arizona, Mojo. And, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's possible, depending on how Bryce does, that he could actually be in the NBA in a year from now. So could he potentially be with his dad and with his brother? How crazy would that be? We will see, though. For now, congratulations, Bryce. Very cool thing. And obviously the whole family was there. So congratulations to them, Mojo.
Huge congrats to Bryce. Awesome to graduate high school. Just a little salty because I didn't get confetti thrown at me during my walk. But that's
Neither
okay.
did I. Neither did I, Mojo. All right. We will take that up with our parents and with our schools. In the meantime, we are out of time, Mojo. We got a bunch to talk about on Monday. It's going to be a great show.
That's right. It'll be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.